Yes, hello, my name is Drew. I am the artistic director of Private Portland Chorus. I am a voice teacher. I do gender affirming speech work with people to Sale Voice Lab, and I'm trying to live my life at the intersection of my passions for voice, teaching, and of course physics, which is my degree. Today I'm going to go through 5 different ways that you can think about modifying, hacking your practice to take advantage of the latest research that neuroscience has for you. So we're going to get into here. So the big idea here, when you are learning music, when you're working with your voice, when you're doing anything with your body, you're actually training your brain. You're actually training your brain. So just thinking about that can make a huge difference. So hold that in your brain as we, with the help of all these adorable cartoon brains, learn a little bit about how the brain works. Now, this is my current favorite book. If you haven't, her name is Gabrian, not Gabrain, but that's how I remember it. It is a fabulous book, and it really hits a lot of research. So, if you're interested in this book, there's a link to it, and I can also share resources on this later. So I'm going to give it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0.5. Okay, and moving on. All right, so we're going to explore 5 brain learning tips today. Hello? The first one is finding an anchor. We're going to get physical. We're going to practice in our mind. We're going to take breaks. And finally, we're going to look for connections, okay? So, time is really tight, so here we go. Okay, so here's oh boy. This used to have so many more pixels in it. Okay. All right, moving right along. So we're going to learn a little snippet of harmony. This is a tag. It's 5 chords. The words are "We'll build a rainbow in the sky." And yes, we get to sing today. You can do that seated, you can do that standing, you can do that lying down, whatever makes you happy. But I would love for you to engage to your comfort level this morning. So don't worry, there will be a higher res version of this later in the presentation. Okay. So say it with me, we'll build a rainbow in the sky. Beautiful. Now, are you doing all the things that you just learned from my wonderful colleagues over here? Everybody shifts in their seat. Okay, beautiful. So I'm going to go through these parts one at a time. I don't expect you to remember them. I just want to make the first dent on your brain with these. Does anybody have a C? All right, who is that? Yes, 1 point. I've got a sticker for you for later. Okay, so we'll start with the lead part. It goes like this. We'll build a rainbow in the sky. Sing with me. We'll build a rainbow. And because my time is going to get to the other parts, so we get to the parts. So that's to the melody. So, great. How well can you remember that? So good? Okay. Well, we're going to learn some ways to make it stick a little bit more. Okay. First step, find an anchor. How do we know where to start? We have to give our brain some context. Otherwise, we're just guessing at notes. And I don't know about you. I don't have perfect pitch. But if I know where I'm relating every note to, then it's a lot easier for me to remember something. So, whether or not music theory is something you're excited about, or something that makes you run screaming, you know music theory. You do, because you've grown up listening to music. You sing music. I'll prove it to you. And so here's a C. Can you sing a scale with me on Da? Da. Beautiful. beautiful, okay, fabulous. Congratulations, music theoreticians. Here's the thing, music theory is just knowing the names for the things your brain and ear already know. So, each one of those notes lives in a certain place compared to the anchor. So, in standard notation, it looks like this, but cross your fingers with me, my friends. Ha! Yes, but with scale-based notation, based around the scale, we can build it in terms of the key. So, in this case, the key is is do, it's the tonic, it's the root note. I call it 1. So in this case, we would sing our scale. Can we sing our scale on numbers with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, but in music, the number 8 does not exist. Because this is just 1 again. Yes? Okay, so in terms of what we just learned, the lead part is actually going to start on 2. So if we know where 1 is, we can go 1, 2, and then we'll sing the lead on numbers. You can read them over there if you can't. Read that, and yes, here we go. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1. Fabulous. Good job. Okay, so we have all these different parts, and I just got ahead of myself. Sing lead with me on numbers. Good job. We did it. Okay, so we have an anchor, so we know exactly where to start and where we're going, and where every note is in relation. So, second step, get physical, you don't have to do that. But more ways to experience the part mean there's more different chances for your brain to remember it. So, you might have noticed, as I do this, I am doing the numbers on my hand. That is not just because I enjoy doing it, though I do. It's because I get a multi-layer, multi-modality experience of music. I hear it. The numbers give me anchored context, and in my hands, I'm feeling the physical sensation. If I'm sight reading and I'm messing up, I get my fingers out and immediately it gets better just because of the sensations. It's wild. So, there's plenty of ways we can do this. We can do finger numbers. We can do a finger staff, which looks sort of like this. Bum, 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 bum. We can draw lines in the air. Rick Knight of Gas House Gang, whenever you teach syntax, he gets out a napkin and he draws lines on it. Long note, long line. Big jump line up here. There is no cheating in this. If you're not cheating a little bit, you're probably not trying. You can also just move your hands in the air. Anybody do this? Ups and downs? Yeah. So choose some physical modality, and we are going to not do that yet. You gotta wait. We're going to sing bass while physicalizing the line in some way. So the bass starts on, hit that 1 again. Beautiful. Nice key, everybody. So there's 1, we're starting on 1, 7, 6. Find some way to physicalize this. Here we go. 6, 6, flat 6, 5, 2. 4, 6 is good. Here we go. 6, flat 7, 1. Choose a different way to physicalize it, and I dare you to get a little bit silly. Here we go. 6, 6, flat 6, 5, 2. 6, flat 6, 1. Beautiful. We have a lead, we have a bass part. We were physicalizing the line and basing it around an anchor. All right. Step 3. Let's chill. Take a break. Take a break. Studies show, so this is really interesting. In Molly Gebhardt's book, she talks about a study that was done with participants around just motor learning. So the researchers had people learn like a keystroke pattern, and then they were rated on their speed and accuracy. And one group was allowed to practice as long as they wanted, and the other group was forced to take 30 seconds of break in between every time they did the task. And what was really cool, if you look at the graph of their accuracy and speed, the growth does not happen during the practice, it happens in between the practice sessions. The way I like to think about this, think of construction workers. We are approaching construction season. If you want to work on a highway, you can't have cars on the highway. They tend to hit construction workers, and that's not ideal. So, in the same way here, when we are singing, we are feeding information to our brain, And then when we take a break, we are allowing that pathway to shut down so that construction can be done by our little construction workers up here. We have to take breaks. So anybody who says you have to practice for 3 hours straight or you're not a real musician is lying to you. You have to take breaks, and in fact, the best way to take breaks is to take naps, but we'll talk about that later. If you really are in a hurry, if you're working on a lot of different stuff, this is great for directors and for quartet rehearsal planning. If you want to work a part and you need to give it a break, if you work a similar section, you will actually interfere with the thing you just learned. So if you work on an up-tune section, or you're working on a particular skill, like maybe finding your stance, then take a break from that by working on something else for a little while. And we call this interleaving of different practices. Anybody heard of this before? I've seen some nods. Okay, great. Okay, cool. So we learned 2 parts. So we're going to learn tenor, and then we're going to let tenor sit, and then we're going to sing the other 2 parts again. So tenor starts on what number? Absolutely. Got a bunch of literate people here. Here's the C. So it starts on, so you see the apostrophe. It means it's not this one, but it's this one. Yeah, y'all are really sharp. Here we go. Can we sing that part? Here we go. First of all. Okay, cool. Now put it in your pocket. We're going to go back, we're going to sing lead. We're going to sing lead, remind ourselves what that was. Physicalize it in some way. We are anchoring ourselves to 1, so 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1. Beautiful, we're still not doing tenor, we're doing different parts. Now, bass, to make them different, can you physicalize it more for bass? 1, 7, 6. 6, 6, flat 6, 5, 2. We like that in the morning. 6, flat 6, 1. Beautiful. Okay. Now that tenor has had some time to sit, I want to challenge you to, starting on 1, see how much you can remember. That's there to reference when you need it. But see how much you can remember. Challenge your brain to recall, because that's the skill you're going to be asking of it as you sing from memory. One more time. Nice. Here's tenor. Starting at 1. 1, 1. Yes, a very strong final 3. Nice job, nice job. Okay, and the longer, if we take a little bit of time now and come back to it, the learning is going to get even stronger. If it's a little bit hard, that means we're doing a good job. This is called desirable challenge for the brain. It wakes the brain up. Our biggest enemy is autopilot. Keep yourself awake. Okay. 4 of 5. How am I doing? Okay, we're going to crush through this. Practice mentally. Okay, this is brain train, brain train. So we actually don't need to do it out loud. Sometimes you're in a space where you can't practice out loud. If you're on vocal rest, or if your very judgmental teenage daughter is in the same room. What's interesting is that when people are put into a functional MRI machine as they're doing mental practice on motor skills, research has shown that the brain can run through the task, the exact same neurons, almost, about 20 times faster than when we're doing it out loud. We are not limited by the meat, it's just all electricity. And the brain runs it both directions, forward and backwards. So you're giving yourself lots of little practice repetitions when you audiate, and that's the name for the skill. So we're going to practice audiating. Here's audiating. I like to think of it as singing on mute. So, here's what we're going to do in a second. We're going to notice, really get awake, turn off the autopilot, and become aware of sound and sensations as you sing the part. What does it feel like in your body? Where do you feel vibration in your mouth? Is your throat? How's the space of your throat? There are no wrong answers here. If it feels purple polka dots, and you can reliably find that sensation, then that's awesome. That's part of your path to singing this way. So get creative. Engineers out there, trust me, give it a shot. So once we feel that, what we're going to do is we're going to bring that to mind as much as possible. We are going to simulate it in as much detail, with as high resolution as we can. Unlike my picture of the tag earlier, the opposite, high resolution, we are going to really stare internally and do everything we would do in singing except for and maybe we sometimes even emote more. And then when we unmute, we want to sing the part out loud and notice any differences. I love in rehearsal toggling between mute and unmute, especially if you give the toggle switch to someone who isn't your director. The power. Okay. So let's try this with baritone. Let's audiate baritone together. So we're going to sing it out loud first. Here's our one. Okay, we're starting on 4. In your head, can you walk up to 4 and then sing 4? Yes, now sing 4 like you're confident about it. There you go. Immediately the pitch is better because we're not hiding from the note. Beautiful. So let's sing this together, and we're going to sing it twice. First time we're just going to do it. The second time we really want to pay attention to how it feels. So here we go. 4, 5, 2, 5. One more time, and feel it in your walking. Here we go. 4, 4, 5, 2, 5, 5, 4, 5, 5. Okay, now reflect on how that felt. Really give yourself a second to run through that. You're going to audiate that. We're going to audiate it twice through at your own pace, practicing those movements. We're going to take 20 seconds. Here we go. If you did a physical thing as you were working on the tag, do that physical thing as you audiate. Okay, now we're going to sing it out loud one more time, and we're going to notice how much we captured from the performance. Here's our one. 4, 4, 5, 2, 5, 5. I don't know how here that felt more solid to me. Even though we sang it twice and then sat and stared at the inside of our eyelids for 30 seconds. Yeah? Mental practice is a real thing. It really works. Really works. You might have noticed this is asterisk. I like having one syllable, so instead of flat 5, I'm saying flag. This pattern does continue as we go. Okay, so we have now done all 4 parts. We've done all 4 parts. So the 5th and final tip that I'll throw out to you today is to seek relationships. When we learn lines, we learn our line in isolation, which is different from how a lot of musicians do this. If we have pianists, guitarists in the audience, chord-based instruments, we think vertically in terms of what's the chord here. But one of the joys of our style of music is we learn threads, and then we weave them together. And when we put them together, we create structure that was not there independently. So how does your part interact with other parts? Where are the octaves? Where are you singing the same note? Where's the unisons? Do you have any really solid intervals, 5ths or 4ths? You feel them as a thrum, or it's just like a, like it's just right in there. And then where do you, one of those, thanks to us. And then close rubs. If you have a major or minor second rub and your ears go, as you're singing it, Notice that. It's going to be a reference for you. So here's the final challenge that I'd like for you today to play with. So here's the whole tech. I would like for us to stand up to our comfort level, and if you are going to sing tenor, hold up one finger, lead is 2, vari is 3, and bass is 4. Look around, find somebody who's holding up a different number of fingers with you, and you may have to move. And we're going to sing this tech 4 times, and my challenge to you is to sing a duet with every other part, which means you will have to sing minimum 2 parts. So, choose a part, find somebody who's singing a different part from you, and we are going to sing this tag in a duet. Okay, I'll do 3. All right, ready? First chord on your number, and then we'll sing the words. Here's the number. Here's a 1. Tenors 1, leads 2, baritones 4, bass 6. Sing your first chord on number. Basses, you sound very tired this morning. Can you use what Shelley taught you? Sing from the floor with a nasal breath. And now on the word wheel. Here we go. Listen to your partner and interact with your 2 parts. Here we go. Did it not go perfectly? How fascinating! Remember, difficulty is positive. Difficulty is waking up your brain. Okay, let's do this. Can we have about half of the room sing tenor and half of the room sing lead? Let's try that. Here's the C. Would it be nicer if we took it down a half step? Yes? Maybe a whole step? Okay, can we do a B flat, please? Okay, lead 1, 2, tenor. Here we go. Listen for the other part and how they interact. Here we go. Onwards. Listen for the rub. Hey, there we go. Okay, rotate. If you were singing lead, I invite you to sing tenor. If you were singing tenor, I invite you to sing bass. And if you're like, no thank you, then please continue singing the part. But we're going to do a tenor bass duet. In a tenor bass duet, we are listening for octaves, of which there are 0 in this tag. But we're going to also hear some really solid, perfect intervals. So, beautiful. First chord on number. Here we go. Let's do one final duet. What's the other duet we want to do? Let's do bass and lead. If you want to sing baritone. But the point is, we want to get outside of our own part and listen into the other parts. So I don't have time to get into it right now, but you pick it up and put it down. Okay, fabulous. One more time on the B flat. One more time on the B flat. For the final time, first chord on your number. Remember, it's either barbershop and correct, or it's jazz and awesome. Nice. Okay, so here's our pitch. Tenor, sing 1. Slow response. Here's lead singing 2. If this is 1, one, where's two? That's three. In between the two of them. So you know how to do this. You literally went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 earlier. Why aren't you doing it now? So give it a shot. Give here's one, where's two? Ah. Okay, what about 4? Can you do 4? That's 3. Excellent. And if this is 1, where's the 6 below 1? You started on 4 though. This is 1. 1 step 6. It gets easier. Is your brain awake? Is it coming out of your ears? Ah, okay, good. That means it's alive. The next time you do this, it will be easier. First word on your number. 1 step 6. On wheel. And for me, it's not will build a rainbow, it's wheel build a rainbow. Here's the we. Ah! Vowels, do another class on that. Here we go. One quick thing, thank you so much for giving me a little space. It's so hard for me to squeeze everything into ask anybody from Pride of Portland, they'll tell you. So remember, when learning, we want to yes, find an anchor. Get physical. What else? Practice mentally, audiate, yeah. And take a break. And finally, y'all are so good. Y'all are so good. I would love your help with an experiment, by the way. If you're open to doing this, I'm really curious to see how this actually shows up in the real world. So I would love to invite you to help me out this weekend. Invite someone who wasn't here this morning to sing this time with you. Someone who wasn't here this morning. If you were here this morning, well, you can do that too, but we want to get a new person in. And use one of these tools as you teach them a part. Maybe it's fingers, maybe it's, no, here's one. And just notice, observe, is it helpful in your teaching or your friend learning? And then email me at learnwithguru@gmail.com with your observations. And bonus, if you record it and post it on social media with the hashtag R13 tagging, and tag me and Region 13.